You ever say something and instantly wish you could grab the words back, like they slipped out before your brain could even stop them? One moment, it feels harmless. The next, you're replaying it in your head, thinking, why did I even say that? It's wild how your own mouth can betray you faster than anyone else ever could. Sometimes it's not your enemies, not your mistakes, not bad luck that ruins things. It's that one sentence, that one reaction, that one careless word that changes everything. We all do it. We speak too soon. We say too much. We reveal things that should have stayed silent. And deep down we know it, that quiet voice in your head that says, you shouldn't have said that. But by then, it's already out there. Words are like arrows. Once released, you can't pull them back. You can only hope they don't hit something you love. The truth is, your mouth is powerful. It can build trust or destroy it. It can open doors or burn bridges. It can make you look wise or foolish in a single breath. Most people think betrayal comes from others, but real damage often comes from within. From saying too much too fast, or to the wrong person. So the question isn't, who betrayed me? It's, when did I last betray myself? Because sometimes silence would have protected you better than any words ever could. And once you start realizing how many times your own mouth has worked against you, you'll understand why the smartest people talk less, listen more, and never let emotion drive their tongues. Your words can save you or sabotage you. The choice every single time is yours. When words become weapons, sometimes it's not our enemies, our luck, or our past that ruins us. It's our own words. Think about that for a second. Most people go through life blaming others for their downfall. They say, people betrayed me, or life wasn't fair. But if you really look closer, most of the time, it wasn't betrayal from outside. It was self-sabotage from within. A few careless words spoken at the wrong time. A heated argument that didn't need to happen. A secret told to someone who didn't deserve to hear it. Your words are tiny messengers. Every sentence you speak sends a message about who you are, what you value, and how much control you truly have over yourselves. And when you don't think before you speak, those messengers start working against you. You lose respect, you lose peace, you lose people. All because you gave power to emotions that should have stayed silent. We underestimate how much damage words can do because they disappear the moment they're spoken. But the effect they leave behind, that lingers. You might forget what you said, but the other person won't. You might move on, but your words might have planted doubt, anger, or regret in someone else's mind that changes how they see you forever. And it's not just about hurting others. Sometimes it's about hurting yourself. Every time you say, I can't, I'm not good enough, or I always fail, your brain listens. It believes you. Your words shape your mindset, and your mindset shapes your life. So when you keep feeding yourself negativity, don't be surprised when life starts reflecting it back. That's why the truly wise learn the art of silence. They don't waste words. They don't explain everything. They understand that silence isn't weakness. It's power under control. Because the moment you master your mouth, you master your life. So before you blame others for what went wrong, ask yourself, was it really them? Or did your own words betray you first? When you over-explain yourself, have you ever caught yourself explaining something over and over again, trying so hard to make someone understand your point? But somehow, the more you talk, the worse it sounds. That's the trap of over-explaining. You think you're proving your honesty or clearing up confusion, but in reality, you're doing the exact opposite. You start to sound defensive, unsure, even guilty. All because you couldn't sit comfortably in your own truth. Here's the thing, most people never realize confident people don't explain, they state. They say what they mean once, clearly, and then they let it stand. They don't rush to convince. They don't panic if someone misunderstands. They know that truth doesn't need a speech, it needs consistency. When you over-explain, what you're really saying is, I need you to believe me, because I don't fully believe myself. And that's where your mouth betrays you. Sometimes we over-explain because we fear rejection or judgment. We want people to like us, to see we meant well, to know we're not the bad guy. But in doing that, we give away our power. We hand people permission to question us, doubt us, and decide whether our words are valid. The more we talk, the less they listen, because desperation drowns out confidence every time. It's not your job to make everyone understand you. Some people will twist your words no matter how carefully you explain them. Some will never see your side, and that's okay. Real peace begins when you stop needing to be understood by everyone. So next time you feel that urge to keep explaining, stop, take a breath. Say what's true once, calmly, then stay silent, because silence after clarity is louder than 1,000 justifications. When you stop over-explaining, you don't just protect your energy, you show that you trust yourself. And that's the kind of quiet confidence that speaks for you long after you've stopped talking. When you speak before thinking, we've all been there. That moment when anger takes over and words fly out faster than we can stop them. Maybe someone insulted you, pushed your buttons, or said something that stung. And before your brain could even process what's happening, your mouth jumped in to defend, attack, or destroy. It feels powerful in that second, like you're standing up for yourself. But when the dust settles, what's left? Guilt, regret, silence, and sometimes a relationship you can't repair. Speaking before thinking is one of the easiest ways to lose respect, because the truth is, emotional reactions rarely come from strength. They come from being triggered. When someone can pull a reaction out of you that fast, they're not just controlling the moment, they're controlling you. And when your mouth becomes a weapon for your emotions, you end up fighting battles that didn't even need to exist. Sometimes it's not even anger. It's anxiety, stress, or frustrations. You say things just to release pressure, not realizing that words have weight. You can't unsay something. You can't rewind time. You can only deal with the damage your tongue caused in seconds of weakness. And the people who once trusted your calmness start walking on eggshells around you, not because they fear you, but because they can't predict which version of you will speak next. The strongest people aren't the ones who always speak their minds. They're the ones who know when to stay silent. They pause. They breathe. They think. Because silence gives you control over your emotions, your image, and your outcome. When you learn to hold back your first reaction, you gain something far more powerful than the satisfaction of winning an argument. You gain peace. So before you let your mouth respond, let your mind decide. Ask yourself, is this worth saying? Or am I just trying to release what I should be processing? Sometimes the smartest response isn't a clever comeback. It's no response at all. Because words spoken in anger may solve nothing, but they can destroy everything. When you share too much too soon, there's a strange kind of excitement that comes with sharing. You meet someone new, you connect instantly, and suddenly it feels safe to open up. You start talking about your dreams, your struggles, your next big move. And it feels good, almost therapeutic. But here's the problem. Not everyone who listens wants you to win. Some people listen just to learn your weaknesses. Some smile at your plans only to hope they fail. And without realizing it, you hand them the map to your vulnerabilities. All because you shared too much, too soon. Your mouth can betray you when it moves faster than your intuition. You might think you're building trust, but what you're really doing is giving people access they haven't earned yet. And the more you talk, the more they know where to strike if things ever go wrong. It's not paranoia, it's protection. Because not everyone deserves to know your heart, your goals, or your pain. Some people only show kindness so they can use your words later when it benefits them. Silence isn't secrecy, it's strategy. The most dangerous people in the room aren't the loudest, they're the ones who speak little and observe much. They don't overshare because they understand that mystery is power. When people know less about you, they can't predict you, they can't manipulate you, and they can't stop you before you even start. Every dream needs silence to grow. The more you talk about what you're going to do, the less energy you have left to actually do it. Keep your plans quiet. Let your success make the noise. Because once you've achieved it, no one can take it from you. They can only watch. So next time you feel the urge to spill your heart, or your next move to someone new, pause. Ask yourself, have they earned my truth? If the answer is no, keep it to yourself. Protect your story until it's strong enough to speak for itself. Because not everyone you trust is a friend. And sometimes your own openness becomes the weapon that wounds you. When you downplay your worth, we do it without even realizing it. Someone compliments us and we shrug it off. Oh, it's nothing. Or, I just got lucky. Someone praises our work and we respond with, it's not that great. We laugh at ourselves, make little self-deprecating jokes, and think it makes us humble or relatable. But what it really does is teach the world to see us smaller than we are. Every time you downplay your worth, you send a quiet message. I don't fully believe in myself. And eventually people start believing it too. Your mouth can betray your confidence faster than your actions ever could. You could be talented, hardworking, and capable. But if your words sound uncertain, the world will treat you like you are. People don't see your full potential. They see what you project. If you talk like you're average, they'll treat you like you are. Because confidence doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from recognizing your own value and refusing to speak against it. We're often taught that humility means playing small, that you shouldn't talk about your strengths or take credit for your wins. But real humility isn't denying your worth. It's knowing it without needing to prove it. When you downplay what you've earned, you don't seem modest, you seem unsure. And unsure people don't inspire trust, leadership, or respect. Think about it. If you walked into a room and introduced yourself like you didn't matter, why would anyone believe you do? The way you talk about yourself shapes how the world responds to you. So stop apologizing for being good at something. Stop shrinking your success to make others comfortable. Stop using humor as a disguise for insecurity. Start owning your effort, your talent, your growth. Say thank you. When someone compliments you, it's nothing, because it is something. You worked for it. You earned it. Speak like you know your value, and people will start to see it too. Because if your own mouth keeps treating you like you're small, don't be surprised when the world does the same. When you gossip to fit in, it starts harmless, doesn't it? A small comment, a laugh, a shared secret about someone who isn't in the room. You just want to be part of the conversation, to blend in, to seem relatable. You think you're building connection, but what you're really doing is exposing something much deeper: insecurity. Gossip feels like bonding, but it's actually the fastest way to show you don't feel confident standing on your own. Because when you need to tear others down to be accepted, it's not them you're talking about. It's yourself. Your mouth betrays you when it uses someone else's flaws as a bridge to belonging. Sure, people might laugh with you in the moment, not in agreement, or even share their own stories. But deep down they're making a silent note. If they talk about others like this, they'll talk about me too. And just like that, your credibility disappears. You might gain attention, but you lose trust. And once trust is gone, it's almost impossible to earn back. The truth is, gossip is a cheap form of connection. It's temporary. It fills silence, but it empties your character. People who truly respect themselves don't waste time dissecting the lives of others. They're too focused on building their own. When you rise higher in life, you'll notice something. The higher you go, the quieter people become. Real confidence doesn't need to gossip. It's too busy growing. If you want to stand out, do it through integrity. Be the person who ends the gossip, not the one who fuels it. When others start whispering, change the subject or walk away. That silence will speak louder than any words ever could, because people may forget what you said, but they'll always remember how you carried yourself when gossip was easy. In the end, gossip doesn't make you belong. It makes you blend in with the wrong crowd. So the next time you're tempted to join in, remember this: the moment you talk about someone else's life, you give away control of your own. And no friendship built on gossip ever lasts, because respect can't grow in the shadows of someone else's downfalls. When you promise what you can't deliver, we've all done it. Said, I'll do it. Before really thinking it through. Maybe you didn't want to disappoint someone. Maybe you just wanted to seem reliable, kind, or capable. It feels good in the moment to say yes, to be the helpful one, the dependable one. But that quick yes can easily turn into your biggest mistake. Because when you promise something you can't deliver, your words become empty, and slowly, without even realizing it, you start breaking trust piece by piece. Your mouth betrays you when it makes commitments your heart or schedule can't keep up with. Every time you agree to something you don't mean, you plant a seed of future disappointment. The first time, people forgive it. The second time, they question it. The third time, they stop believing you altogether. And once people stop believing your words, nothing you say will ever carry weight again. The truth is, people don't respect endless yeses. They respect honesty. Saying, I can't right now, doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. Boundaries build trust far, more than false promises ever could. Because when you're honest about your limits, people know your yes actually means something. The habit of overpromising usually comes from a place of fear. Fear of rejection, of letting others down, of not being liked. But here's the irony. The more you try to please everyone, the more you end up disappointing them. You can't be everything to everyone, and you don't have to be. True respect comes from reliability, not availability. So the next time you feel pressured to say yes, pause. Ask yourself, can I really do this? Do I even want to? Because your word is your reputation. Every promise you keep builds it, and every broken one chips it away. It's better to be known for saying no with honesty than yes with regret. In the end, people remember who followed through, not who agreed the fastest. Protect your credibility. Speak with intention. Because once your mouth makes a promise, your character is on the line. And that's something no apology can fully restore. When you argue just to win, there's a fine line between standing up for yourself and letting your ego take control. We all like being right. It feeds our pride, gives us a sense of victory, makes us feel powerful. But sometimes in the chase to win the argument, we end up losing something far more valuable: peace, respect, or even the person we care about. Because when your mouth starts fighting for your ego instead of the truth, you've already lost the battle that actually matters. Your mouth betrays you when it turns conversation into competition. Instead of listening to understand, you start listening to attack. You pick apart every word, you twist sentences, you raise your voice, not to solve anything, but to make sure you come out on top. And in that moment, your words stop connecting and start cutting. You may win the argument, but what's the prize? A silent room, a broken bond, or the regret that comes when the rush of being right fades away? Arguments that come from ego rarely lead to resolution. They create tension that lingers long after the words are spoken. You might not even remember what the fight was about, but you'll remember the feeling, that heaviness, that distance. Because deep down, you know it didn't have to happen that way. The truth is, not every opinion needs defending. Not every disagreement needs a debate. Sometimes peace is more powerful than proving a point. The mature person in the room isn't the one with the sharpest comebacks. It's the one who knows when to stop talking. Walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It shows you value peace more than pride. So, before you argue, ask yourself, what am I really trying to win here? A moment of pride or a lifetime of trust? Because words spoken in ego echo long after the fight ends. And once they're said, you can't pull them back. Sometimes the smartest move isn't to prove you're right. It's to choose silence and protect the relationship. In the end, being right means nothing if your words leave you standing alone. When you talk instead of listening, most people think communication is about talking. But the truth is, it's about listening. Yet, in most conversations, we're not really listening. We're just waiting for our turn to speak. We're crafting our next sentence while the other person is still talking. We hear their words, but not their meanings, and that's where our mouth betrays us. when we choose to reply instead of understand. Listening is one of the simplest skills, but also one of the rarest. Everyone wants to be heard, but very few are willing to truly hear. When you talk more than you listen, you miss the wisdom hiding in silence. You miss people's true intentions, their emotions, their truth. You end up reacting to what they said instead of connecting to what they meant. And the sad part, most conflicts, misunderstandings, and broken relationships start exactly there. Not because of what was said, but because no one really listens. Your mouth can't learn when it's busy talking. When you always have to speak, explain, or prove something, you leave no room for growth. Listening, on the other hand, teaches you how the world works, how people think, how to see beyond your own perspective. The quiet ones, the real observers, are often the most intelligent in the room, not because they talk less, but because they understand more. Sometimes silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. The person who listens carefully gains insight that talkers will never have. They learn how to respond, not react. They earn trust because they make others feel valued, and that's a power no amount of talking can buy. So next time you're in a conversation, try this. Don't rush to speak. Just listen. Listen to the tones, the pauses, the emotion behind the words. You'll start noticing things you never saw before. Because when you listen deeply, you don't just understand others, you understand yourself better too. In the end, the smartest people aren't the ones who always have something to say. They're the ones who know when to stay quiet. Because wisdom doesn't come from having the loudest voice. It comes from hearing what everyone else misses. When you speak against yourself, the most dangerous words you'll ever say aren't the ones that hurt others. They're the ones that hurt you. Every time you say, "I always mess up," or "I'll never make it," you're not just expressing frustration. You're programming your mind to believe it. Your brain listens to every word you say, even the ones spoken in anger or disappointment. And over time, those words become your reality, because the things you repeatedly tell yourself shape the way you think, act, and live. Your mouth can become your worst enemy when you use it to tear yourself down. Maybe it starts as a joke. "I'm so stupid. I can't do anything right." You laugh it off, but deep down, those words leave marks. The more you repeat them, the more your mind accepts them as truth. Before you know it, self-doubt becomes your default settings. And your words, your own words, become the chains that hold you back. The problem is we often speak negatively about ourselves before anyone else gets the chance to. It's a way of protecting ourselves. If we say it first, it hurts less when others do. But that's just self-sabotage dressed as humor. You don't protect yourself by insulting yourself. You protect yourself by speaking life into your identity, even when you don't feel strong enough to believe it yet. Words have power. They can build or break, heal or harm. When you start replacing phrases like "I can't" with "I'm learning," or "I'm not enough" with "I'm growing," you begin rewriting your realities. Confidence isn't about pretending you're perfect. It's about refusing to use your voice against your own potential. So watch how you speak about yourself when no one's listening, because your words are planting seeds, and your life will grow in whatever soil you water the most. Speak with kindness. Speak with belief. Speak with intentions. You don't need to have everything figured out to talk like you're worthy. You already are. In the end, the world will treat you the way you treat yourselves. So make sure your mouth is on your side, not your enemy. When you tell the wrong people your dreams, there's a dangerous habit we all fall into, talking about our dreams too early. You get excited about something big, something you believe in, and the first thing you want to do is tell someone. You expect encouragement, maybe a little motivation. But instead you get silenced doubt, or worse, a list of reasons why it'll never work. That's the moment your mouth betrays you. Because not everyone deserves front row seats to your visions. Some people don't want you to grow. They just want to know what to gossip about if you fail. When you talk too soon, you give people the chance to plant fear where faith should be. You hand your fragile dreams to minds that can't see what you see. And the moment you start explaining your passion to those who don't understand it, you begin doubting yourself. That's why the smartest people move in silence. They let their results speak louder than their words ever could. Your words build your world or burn it down. So be silent until your mouth serves your growth. Protect your plans like seeds. Don't expose them to the wrong light too early, or they'll never bloom. Not everyone clapping for you wants you to win. Some are just waiting to see if you fall. So tell me, which of these situations hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments. And if you're ready to master your words before they master you, hit subscribe, because silence just became your superpower.